Welcome back to I'm Still Here. I'm Larry.
And I'm Heather. In 1998, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer at the age of 26. It changed everything for us, but I'm still here.
Yes, you are. So, in this episode, we're going to be talking about how cancer maybe affects people's careers, their finances, social life, and maybe other things as we go through this here. Or not.
Or not.
You know, I guess it does. You know, if you're making a decision because of cancer, then I guess it is. Maybe it's taking you down a different path than you would or would not have without it. So
yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah. I think the thought process with some of this is just to... I feel like when we think about cancer, it immediately goes to like, are you healthy? Are you not healthy? Yeah. And then it also then goes to just kind of basic survival things. And there's this feeling that we should be grateful for our health, which is absolutely, yeah. I totally get it. Without my health, nothing else matters. I understand that.
That's why it's the most important class in high school.
Oh, yeah. I think you're biased. But there's a lot of things that are affected by cancer that we don't talk about. Or, again, I feel like I should put a rosy spin on it. But sometimes when I think about it, I'm not thrilled that my career path did not look like anybody else's. I'm not thrilled that financially, we just were... It's a huge setback. It's still a setback, and we are almost in one of the best positions. We have fantastic insurance. We don't have a lot of out-of-pocket type of things, but it absolutely has it has impacted us, I think, in ways that, again, I just want to talk about them because I think it's okay to, I think unless we talk about them, nobody will recognize those things. And I know that women, it's definitely another burden of cancer that then we even feel like, oh, but you're still here. Like, just be grateful.
Yeah. So let's talk about careers first then.
Sure.
So, why don't you refresh everybody on, the beginning of your career?
Yeah, so I'm an occupational therapist, and I worked full-time. I first at a hospital and outpatient center, and then I really wanted to get into the schools. And I literally was in the middle of, I'd been at a school district that I really liked, but I got a job offer in the district that
it was farther away.
Yep. Yeah. In our, where I'd be at home. And that is exactly when I found out about the cancer. It was from the time that I resigned from my other job and accepted, maybe at the same time, whatever, I found out that I had stage 4 cancer.
So let's now go back to before that when you were with the other ISD. And how do you think your career path might have been different? Not that you'd ever know, but been different.
If I'd stayed, you saying?
Well, no, just without cancer. Cancer never happened. Oh,
without cancer, I think I probably would have tried to work part-time for a while my kids were little. Although the job I had just taken was a full-time job, I think prior I was working 4 days a week. So I think there would have been maybe a little negotiation for part-time work. You know what I mean? But when you work in the school system, every year you get a step. Every year you gain a year towards retirement. Every year, all of these things kind of accumulate, right?
Oh gosh, you'd be able to retire.
I would already be able to retire. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little game changer there.
Yeah. So, and those are the I mean, it's not the only thing, but that stuff just gets kind of brushed under the rug. Or at our age now, in school systems, everybody's talking about retiring. Oh, I've got 2.5 years. Oh, I've got 2 months. Oh, I've got this. Oh, I've got this. And they'll say to me, what do you have? And I'm like,
a lot.
I'm not even gonna get close to that.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not even on the table.
Right.
So.
Okay. So, other things that you enjoy career-wise, that aren't occupational therapy, are those possible because of cancer, though?
Well, for sure. I mean, writing, speaking, doing this podcast, that is, but financially, it's not. We love you guys, but...
You don't pay an awful lot. I'm still waiting for the checks.
We just spend money to buy stuff so we can keep doing stuff rather than the other way around. Story of our life
right there. Wait till we get to finances.
But so yeah, there's maybe other options. Now, part of it is too, I chose a career field that in some ways feels maybe, sort of, there's one, you can be an occupational therapist. That was my major in college. That's what I do. Now, there's different ways to be an OT, but it's not like when you have a business degree and you kind of go, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And believe, I have thought about how do I transition into something different. But I whenever I'm thinking about a job or anything, I am always thinking about my health first.
No doubt.
Which again is just a perspective that a lot of people don't have. Not necessarily sorry they have it, but I think it's to such a level that it does impact, or it has, especially in the past, impacted what I would pursue. Because I need flexibility for appointments, and I was worried about, time off for surgeries or different things, right?
So you haven't even, you haven't even been at 100% or full time,
right,
for a lot of years. I don't know.
I've never gone. So my true path is that I went on disability first, and disability is a whole nother thing. We can talk about that in a minute. But I went on disability first, and then slowly I started going back where you can make a little bit of money on disability, whatever. And then I accepted a job. That'll be 12 years ago. But it was never a full time. So even right now, and there's like pros and cons to that in terms of I just am not making this. I look at my peers, and especially again in education, what I make compared to what they make is like, oh.
Yep.
So it's
So another part of careers, which we didn't necessarily experience, but I think a lot of people, they get diagnosed and they're in a normal job or whatever. They find that they can't do certain things that they might want to take care of themselves because of insurance. Yeah. Because of this big insurance thing. And, that the big uninsurable word comes up and is talked about.
Your metastatic. Your options moving forward. I mean, with all of the talk about pre-existing conditions and all of that kind of stuff, there's nothing scarier than that from my standpoint, right? To be uninsurable, that's like, it just feels like we don't care. Good luck.
Yep.
So, I guess to talk about disability a little bit, I applied for it when I was first diagnosed, and I was approved for it. That's based off of what your earnings are, your top 3 years of earnings, which when you're 26 and working in the schools, not super impressive, right? Yeah. And so I was on disability for probably, I don't know, maybe close to 10 years. But again, it just was like, we managed, but we were eking through. We were not putting money away. We weren't doing anything, it feels to me like kind of the cost of breast cancer, right? Where we could maybe hold our ground, but we could not gain ground financially.
And we can get into that a little bit, the financial decisions that we've made. As we have gotten raises over the time or whatever, we have chosen to spend it rather than save it. That's just the truth.
That's fair. I mean, you do have a pension coming.
No, I'm just saying overall, what, compared to other people's kind of planning and doing that, it puts a little bit different perspective on planning when you do have this metastatic disease hanging over your head.
Yeah, I think because you always want to make memories, right?
Yes.
Like when your kids are little and you're still worried about that, you want to make memories. And now we just realize that for us is something we really want to do. And yeah, so it is kind of that YOLO, you only live once. We're not going to wait for retirement because my Lord,
and we're having awesome times and great vacations. And you know what? That's our 401k or whatever it's called. 403b.
That's for you.
4078. But no, that's right. Where that money, instead of going into there, pays for our vacations.
Yeah.
That's the truth. And I have zero regrets about it. And if that means I need to work for the next 20 years, okay.
Yeah.
As long as I can keep those, vacations and doing that, I am in no hurry to retire.
Yeah.
I can retire in a couple years. There's no way that's going to happen because I would go stir crazy here. And you'd hate me. It's kind of it's summer. We're around each other all the time. Right, all the time. So, which is not a bad thing, but
we handle it pretty well.
Yeah. So,
but yeah. So even another kind of piece to that is that I was so young. I was like being 26, but also having a daughter. So many people kind of build their financial future in their 20s, which is a great idea, by the way. Great idea. But then I look at that and go, man, if I didn't have Sydney, that opportunity would have been gone. Like, there was no chance of me having children after being diagnosed. So all of those things kind of play into, I think, all of it, right?
Once I found out about the fact that when you die, they just take your stuff.
This is the worst financial advice ever.
Ever. But it's the truth when you are in this, with a metastatic disease, is you don't have to keep up with the Joneses. And that's hard sometimes. And when everybody else is doing something for something, whatever, I'm true, and my peers all know this about me. I'm just like, whatever. I'm living life now, and I'm having a great time, and I have no regrets, not one, on this, because we go on awesome vacations, and
we also have some awesome people in our life who have made some of those vacations amazing.
Oh my gosh, just unbelievable. So but it none of them were the wise financial decisions to make or that kind of crap.
But until you've spent the amount of time that we've spent in a hospital, or stared down the amount of doctors that we've stared down, like why do I want, and this is us. Don't be us. You can do
whatever you want.
Yeah.
But why would I want to have all of this money for when I'm 70 years old and can't really enjoy to spend it?
Or,
and their kids are gone, and they don't want to be on vacations with us anymore. And we're spending it now. Mm-hmm. So that's us. That's what this podcast is about what we do. And financially, we make decisions based on what we want to do, and we'll figure it out later sometimes. We are there's also spur of the moment.
It also feels like there's such a penalty to have had, it feels like my career was so sidelined to me that it's almost, it does feel insurmountable. And honestly, obviously there's some, you can tell, I think there's some resentment to that, I wouldn't, I guess people don't understand that, in terms of, all of that. And again, you look at us, you think, oh, these guys are normal, they've lived a normal life, they've all this stuff. Our incomes did not keep going up.
No, but that's okay.
So.
We have everything we need, and we have a few things we want, and we do awesome vacations. I'm staring at a map of the United States over there of places that we've been, and places we want to go, and places we want to go again. And that's awesome for us. Vacations are our thing and our family's thing, and we have a great time doing it. And that's a decision we've made that other things might not happen because of that. That's what I'm saying. And so let's shift gears to socially a little bit. Okay. So when you have cancer, there's certain things socially that you should do, shouldn't do. And when I say socially, just that there's no cap on what that means. But it really has nothing to do with financially or career or anything like that.
Well, I think it kind of comes back to this, the best way to fight cancer might be to, eat perfectly, exercise, don't be overweight, don't drink alcohol. Like, there's a million, right? All of these things. Yeah. Kind of, this is the perfect plan. And I did that. I was pretty perfect for a year or two, right? And then, there comes a point, and some people believe that there's all different viewpoints on this, but there comes a point where you choose, like, how am I going to live my life?
You still have to enjoy.
Does cancer own me, or do I, who's in charge? It's kind of like who's driving, right? Cancer's in our car, right? Yeah. Cancer's in our car of how we make decisions, financial, all these different things. But cancer doesn't get to drive. It might get to weigh in, So,
well, a great example is we're watching what we eat right now. We're both a few pounds overweight, not terrible, but a few pounds overweight, which we would like to not have that. Right. So we've been exercising a lot, and trying to watch what we eat. And I don't know, was it yesterday? Yesterday. What'd you do?
I went into town and I had dinner at Popeyes. I got a chicken sandwich when I was like, that's what I want.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But, we tend to, we feel guilty about some of those things. I had pizza last night because I officiated a little. I had pizza and I did only have one piece, which is the first time in my life. But that's okay. And we talk about, even in health class with people that don't have cancer, anything in moderation, unless it's crack, is okay. You go for it. Just keep it in moderation. And sometimes we feel so guilty if we're not just towing the line and following this path that it's the right thing to do because of cancer.
Right. I think there's an extra added guilt from cancer. And I think the other thing is that other people will bring it on you. Oh, you drink? Oh, you this? I don't ask you if you drink. Get off my back.
Dr. Mariver, if you're listening to this right now, fast forward 30 seconds. She told us that you're only supposed to have 3 drinks a week, which in most times of our life, that's
fine.
That's fine.
Summer months.
But in the summer around the 4th of July, and when you go to Key West,
I'm drinking water, by the way, right now.
So, but you know what? We don't do that all year or year round or anything like that. But
the added guilt or perception from my doctor, absolutely give me advice. She should. Yeah. She should weigh in.
She's awesome.
But you know what? If I'm talking to you on the street and you're saying, "Oh, I didn't think you were supposed to," go away. You wouldn't say it to somebody else. Don't say it to me, right?
Yeah, and it's truly like it is a balance of doing what you should do to stay healthy and living your life.
Absolutely.
Enjoying living your life. I should put that in there.
Yeah.
It's not just living your life. It's enjoying living your life.
Yeah.
Now, again, if crack is what you need to enjoy living life, I'm not talking about that. There are certain things that do go above and beyond and are absolutely counterproductive to you beating cancer and being healthy in general.
Yeah,
But those other things, gosh, just do it. If moderation. You want the chocolate cake, eat it.
Yeah.
Don't kill yourself. Don't beat yourself up over those things. But you know what? Eat the chocolate cake and do another mile.
Yeah. No, or buy a piece and not the cake. You know what I mean? That's the thing too. Like for me, if I have, there's
Do another mile too. Just saying.
You shouldn't earn your calories.
Earn them. Earn them. Yes.
I don't know. We just I would love to talk to more people about how, like, especially careers or finances have been an impact, or how they've impacted their lives with cancer. I think, it's interesting for me. There becomes...
Especially when the cancer patient is the main breadwinner in the family.
Well, is so young. I mean, this is the other thing. It's one thing. If I were diagnosed at 55 or whatever the average age is, again, like we talked about, I would have been able to retire at that point with a full pension.
Right. Sure.
That would have changed things considerably. Right. 26, you didn't even get an opportunity to have your career, or in your 30s, whatever. It does really make a difference to that kind of stuff.
And to speak to that a little bit, that's a little bit of incentive for me teaching for another 10, 15 years or whatever it is we have great insurance. As long as we have great insurance, wow, that makes the rest of our lives easier. Yeah. That we don't have to put all this money up front when we go to the doctor and have this test.
Yeah, to not, to be able to access, we would need dual insurance otherwise, right? And even then, I don't know that it'd be able to do what our insurance does.
I pay a lot of money for my insurance. A lot. And absolutely every dime's worth it because you have metastatic cancer. That's why it's worth it. Now,
we'd be paying the other way anyway, and not being able to access the same amount of treatment or people. But what I was trying to get back to is, like, I think it becomes sort of easy to become sort of a victim with breast cancer and be kind of like, you should give me, I should get, what are the free things? What are the,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, so, like, I think sometimes because finances impact women with cancer, they are some sort of searching, maybe beyond other things, for, like, free trips or free this, things that they might qualify for. And there's a lot of great programs out there, and there's actually some financial assistance, for people with going through treatment.
There's free trips?
Yes.
We never went on a free trip.
Sorry. So.
Okay.
But I do understand, I understand how people kind of take on that victim role a little bit when they feel like they've lost so many things.
I do too.
Or, haven't, Yeah, it's just not great.
They should get a free trip every year.
Yeah.
I'm serious. It's not fair.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you don't feel like that all the time. But it's not fair. I mean...
Well, I do struggle a little bit with, like, should I just be happy with what I have? When I think about, for myself and my personality, I think I'm really somebody who goes after things. And I have not been able to do that from a career perspective,
Yeah, right.
And it definitely, it's had a huge impact on me and how I feel about that. And like, I don't know. And then just having to think, I should just be grateful. Well,
right. We want to feel good about the things that we've accomplished and went after and got and done. And that is our MO, is we kind of go after things. And it's hard to impossible in certain areas when you have this. Yeah. That's just the truth.
Yeah. So we feel for all of you people that are out there. And also, I guess maybe we should talk a little bit more about people who are working with cancer all the time.
Because that's the norm.
That is the norm. And boy, the mental and physical struggle of that is... can be just really a lot. Yeah. And again, the need to then put yourself, I feel like, you have to put all of this energy into work, and then all of the rest of your energy into staying healthy. Like, man, what a burden
because that
to
was
bear.
that was not your recipe.
No.
That truly wasn't.
No.
I mean, when people ask, what did you do? That was a big one, is you did focus on yourself. Mm-hmm. Oh, not 100%, but a lot of it was on yourself for a couple years. I mean, it was focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
there was something to that.
No, I agree with that. I just also think about, people who are working full time, who are walking into an office every day or whatever kind of setting, and the chatter around them and what that feels like when I would think I would just want to be screaming, I have metastatic breast cancer, like, shut up. Or,
no doubt.
I don't know. And maybe that's just me. Like, how do you live in both worlds, and how do you... I don't know. And
that's what, honestly, we don't have experience with.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't. But I'm finding in these things that we don't have experience with, we have friends or contacts or whatever that do, and we'd be glad to interview them if you guys want to hear more about that.
Yeah.
And how those challenges and how they overcame it or whatever. Yeah. We can find a success story there, and we'll get them on here for you if you want to hear about it. So let us know those kind of things in the notes or comments or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I agree. So now that we've talked about all the things I don't like to talk about, which is finances and careers, I think maybe we should just wrap it up and go on the boat. Happy summer.
It is hot out today. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for listening. And again, if you want to hear something, or if you got a comment or want to get in touch with us, leave that comment and we will follow through with that.
Absolutely.
Luckily, you are
still here.
Yes, you are. Peace.